Thinking of a quick weekend getaway from Mumbai, I had for long wanted to visit this part of the country. With a bunch of union territories in the country, yet, the most traveled ones are either Goa or Pondicherry, besides the national capital, Delhi. The government having introduced an extremely affordable chopper service between Daman and Diu, to boost tourism in this sector, one had to be extremely lucky to get a booking in the 6-seater. After persistently checking for over a year, I finally got a seat that confirmed my trip to this, not much explored destination. Daman being the first stop in this quick weekend getaway, it was about a 4-hour drive from Mumbai, by road. With a mix of industries, beaches and the old-world Portuguese allure, Daman was delicately beautiful with its quaint charm. Having reached the city by night, the following day started afresh by visiting the enchanting one, Jampo Beach. With tall trees lined up across the beach, the look of forest on one side and the shore on the other, did make it ecstatic for the already classic beach. The speciality of this beach was the receding waters, up to 2 kilometers depending on the low tide days. I was lucky to have witnessed the shoreline receding to at least more than a kilometer. The first thought, albeit that struck me, was the phenomenon that occurred prior to tsunami hitting Chennai few years back, and that did give a chill in the spine. However, while the waves are active, the beach area gets completely covered till the road, getting water splashes from the strong waves. Having enjoyed the serenity of the beach, my driver-cum-guide for the day, Ajay, drove me down the coast to our next stop, Moti Daman Beach. While I've read of famous black sand beaches in Iceland, having one in our own country was certainly a surprise. Although Devka Beach is the official black sand beach of Daman, Moti Daman was like the younger cousin. The fishing boats along the shores further added to the countryside charm that the city donned with ease. With a few more hours at my disposal, Ajay drove me to the lighthouse across the beach. Ascending a flight of stairs, I was welcomed to a panoramic bird's-eye view of the black sand beach and the surrounding areas. Having enjoyed the serenity along the lighthouse, our next stop was for an architectural marvel and an engineering artistry from the Portuguese era, the Cathedral of Bom Jesus. The intricately carved gateways, ornate interiors and artistic wooden altars of this shrine have withstood the test of time. A lot of places with tourist significance within a single complex, the Moti Daman Fort, today, not just houses the relics from the Portuguese era, while also holds a lot of government offices and residential colonies for today's people to coexist with. From the church, Ajay maneuvers the vehicle within the fort to the Dominican monastery. I was wondering India's geopolitical connections with at least one of the 2 Caribbean countries with the same name, about half a millennia before. Ajay clarified that the church was once considered the most prestigious in the territory, in remembrance of Saint Dominic. Today, stepping into these ruins, the place has a power of mysteriously transporting you to the sets of a romantic blockbuster. Being welcomed by beautiful gardens with colorful flowers, the monastery itself was covered with moss and algae. With a crucifix hanging across one of the tallest walls of the ruins, the place had a trance in itself. With both time and weather not cooperating much, I'd to reach the heliport to be on time for boarding the dream ride. While Daman was a delicate beauty, Diu was certainly the boisterous cousin of Goa. Staying in a resort opposite to the beach, my first stop in this island was to the very unique cave temple for Lord Shiva, known as Sri Gangeshwar Mahadev. A temple along the shores of the Arabian Sea, believed to have been built by the Pandavas, the 5 shivlings in descending order of size, gets washed by every wave, with the sight being divinely magical. Having known about this temple a few years ago as a WhatsApp forward, I had then decided to visit this place sometime, and the universe did conspire for the best. The next stop following the darshan was to INS Khukri Memorial, one of its kind for a warship sunk near Diu during the 1971 war with Pakistan. A well-landscaped hill with buggy rides leading visitors up to the top, with the miniature of the ship being given due respect. With a high-walled balustrade from the shore on the one side, the entire mound has cenotaphs for the heroes who lost their life in the warship and few temples built in the caves of the mound on the other. Diu Fortress was my next stop, with long walks exploring the ruins around, with scintillating views of the beach. With 360 degrees of mesmerizing views, all tiredness was instantly put to rest. With the time of the day approaching dusk, it was time for Nagoa Beach, that is loaded with water activities. Having relaxed in the beach for a while, I had booked for a para-sailing activity right before sunset, to enjoy the panoramic view during the golden hour and to end the day on an adrenaline high. Walking back to my hotel, the hoka trees native only to Africa were found all along Nagoa Beach that were perhaps planted during the Portuguese period, was adding an otherworldly charm to the entire area. The next day, stepping out to the beach at 6:30 a.m., I took a private speedboat for the dolphin watching in the deep waters. Raju, the guide-cum-naturalist for my 2-hour safari, was giving me the assurance of sighting at least one dolphin during the tour, while I was fingers crossed. With a huge wave making the light-weighted boat to jump for quite a distance, we were not the only ones jumping in these rough waters, but there was also a svelte grey bottlenose breaching the waters. The glimpse of this dolphin was hardly 2 meters away. My joy knew no bounds, with such a close encounter of this beauty. With this one glimpse, Raju was an expert in guessing where the family might be, and asked the boatman to take a right turn and drive down further deep. With a gut feel, that perhaps is what one calls experience, Raju asked the boatman to stop the boat and started grinding his gutka on his left hand and pointed his right hand towards the waters. There was a family of 3 dolphins breaching every 5 feet, and the boatman pats on my back to watch another 6 to 7 dolphins on either side of the boat, and I felt like truly floating in paradise. This was perhaps the best safari I had done in recent times, which was certainly a bang for the buck. Tipping Raju and the boatman happily for an unforgettable water safari, I bid adieu to this beautiful island Union Territory. Thanks for watching. Please do subscribe to my channel and like and share the video.